My name is Ziki Cooley, and I'm from Scodix. You probably never heard of Scodix, but in the next 15 minutes I'll explain not about the technology, but a little bit about what it is and more about the value that it really gives to you and to your customers. So Scodix is all about creating a print enhancement, digital print enhancement. We saw the demand for adding value to printing, and we designed a technology that is based on inkjet to create those effects in a digital way with all the values of being digital. So you can make one copy, you can make a few copies, you don't have to do long runs, you can do testing and all that. To make it simple, I'll start with a little bit of telling you what happens around the world. Most of it you know, but I'll make it a little clear, trying with my very limited Photoshop capabilities to explain what happened over the last many years. It was all black and white. Everything was printed in black and white. White paper and black and white on it. And then color came, way before our time, not that long ago, but color came and changed the world. Everything now became color. It was exciting. That was the value in printing. Today, color is standard. Everything is with color. Actually, if you do something with black and white only, it's special, it's unique, it stands out. But really, color is a standard. And if you want your product, the thing that you design, the item, whether it's a brochure or a box or whatever, if you just put CMYK color on a white paper, it's no longer special. And so the print enhancement is the next thing that everyone is looking for. Print enhancement can be many things. It could be foil and gloss and glittering and special papers. It could be something that makes that product more than just CMYK. And this is where we are playing. This is the Scodix arena. I bet most of the people here have smartphones. We all have some sort of a computer, an iPad or something like that at home or in our bag. And that affects the printing industry. What it does, basically, it gives you all the information that you need. In the past, not that long, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when you needed information, you went to something called encyclopedia. No one goes to look for information in encyclopedia anymore. You went to a library to look for things, for books, for references. It's all in Google now. It's all on your laptop, or iPad or phone. So that impacts the printing industry in a way that it's no longer for information. Very little of the printing is done for information. It's mostly done for promotional items, for advertising. And so there is a shift in the printing, and it helps in the trend of turning printing into a higher quality. Because if you do something not for information, but for promotional and activities, you do a valuable thing, you add more value to it, you put more things into it, as much as, as promotion and stuff like that. The second thing that happens is we receive a lot of messages every day. Every one of us, from the moment we wake up in the morning until we fall asleep, we get tons of messages, huge amount of messages. I'll go back to the competition, to the last word, but most of the messages we get every day comes from the eyes. And this is a very interesting point, and not many people thought about it. Most of the stuff comes from your eyes. So you wake up in the morning, you see the television news. Then you go into the car and you see the billboards and you see the buses going with the messages. Then you open your computer and you get those advertising, and you get, even the emails are messages. The amount of message a person gets per day on average is about 3,000 messages. Just as a comparison, about 200 years ago, an average person received about 100 messages a day. Now, what happens is that this changed over the last few decades, but not that much. This CPU, this computer here, cannot remember 3,000 messages every day. So if 200 years ago you got 100 messages and you remember 50 or 70 or 80 of those, that was great for whoever advertised something. Today, if someone approaches you with a message, all your brain is working on is about deleting unnecessary information. So tomorrow you don't remember half of what said to you the day before. So how do you make people remember things that they want you to remember? They need to add something else other than let you see that message. And the way to do it is, of course, to get more attention, make things stand out, means that you need to add some value. We, as Scodix, adds the sensory texture to it. A texture element to a printed element brings it more value and create something that is different. People touch it and they remember it. We've done some tests. A consumer behavior test. Some of you may know about this in your business. A consumer behavior looks at what you do and translate that to producing the product based on that. So for example, if you go to a supermarket or a grocery store, it's not a coincidence that you see some of the product on the right left shelf and some on the left side bottom shelf. There's different prices to put those products there because your eyes goes to a different direction. You write, in English, you write from right to left, right? From left to right. That's my language, it's from right to left. You write from left to right. Normally, you look to your left. So products on the eye level, on your left side, on a shelf, will be more, people will pay more to put them on that side. If you open a magazine, the ads on the right side where the page is open will be more expensive than ads on the left side because you hardly see them. For me, it's the other way. What our customers did, they took samples with Scodix and without Scodix, and they let people see them. They put them in front of them, and they saw people are drawn more to products that has texture to it. And then they saw them touching those products. Eventually, when they analyzed this, they saw that people are more connected to products with a texture than those that doesn't have any textures to them, which means people are buying them more, remembering them more. Having more value to a product means more people will remember and buy them. A very simple, probably happened to every one of you. You go to a bookstore, you see a lot of books. Most of them have some elements of enhancement on them, whether it's a foil, embossing, gloss, spot varnish, these kind of things. And it's not a coincidence. A book shelf life is very, very limited, only a few days. The only way to get sales of a book is to get attention of people who buy them. Most of you bought a book in the last few months, I assume. You hardly ever go to a bookstore with a known name of a book that you want to buy. You want to buy a book, so you go in and you pick a book, or you buy a present to someone, which, again, you don't care which book you buy. So the cover means a lot. If the cover is very nice, you pick it up. If you picked up the book from the table, you already, the producer of that book did 50% of the job by designing the cover correctly. And it means that he did something to draw your attention. How do you draw attention? You put something else other than just CMYK on a white paper. A good example that I like to mention is Steve Jobs. You've heard of Steve Jobs. If anyone read his biography, page 87, he talks about the box of an iPhone. Box of an iPhone, if you had an iPhone, if you bought one, there's a big traction to it. When you want to open it, it's kind of hard to open. He wanted to make a feeling of the phone was born in your hands. And he designed that box. He wrote patents on that box. He invested $4 million on this box, which has only special lamination and very well designed the sizes and everything, but it's an item to create an experience. And that's it. It's all about the experience. And he put a lot of money and efforts in it to make that experience. And even if it's an iPhone, which is electronic material, electronic media, the box itself meant a lot because he wanted the whole experience to cover everything. So I'm not going to go into details about what is Scodix, but there are a few elements that create this, what you see here, this gloss and textile has few elements in it. It's very high, raised effect, again, the guys later on will explain more and you will be able to touch them. It's glossy. There are different ways to make textures and elements in different heights on it. And if you would like, I'll be happy to explain how this is done. Very simple with normal tools, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all these, how to create that. And it's very, very well registered. So we apply the clear texture on top of a printed surface in a very accurate way. So it always sits in the right way. Again, not going deeper into the technology, but it's a different device, a different system, a digital inkjet device. 1stByte were the first in London to have this. It supports both digital printing, so if it's printed on an Indigo, and it also supports if printed on a B2 size, let's say offset material, you can also apply the solution on top of that. So you're not limited in size. There's a lot of different solutions, enhancement, what we call different solutions, and you will be able to see them. One of them are the metallic. The metallic is a combination of the Scodix and the color, and in a way, in some application, you can do things better and more creative than hot foil stamping and cold foil. You can create combinations that are not even possible to do them. And you, again, you will be able to see some of the samples here. So a lot of brands in the world are using our technology, or customers of ours who are supporting those brands. Not a coincidence, they all want to be special with their products, to be unique. And again, they're able to create with the Scodix a very, very nice things that were not possible before. Some samples that I wanted to just let you guys feel and see. Paper bags that are created with the Scodix technology. A great application to, again, to create an element that is showing high value. eBay is using Scodix in many different applications like notebooks and stuff like that. Again, very nice to see the campaigns that they're doing. A great example that I always like showing is this is an invitation created by an agency to Ferrari for launching a car. Small event, 700 people were invited. It's almost a black and white. There is a little bit of color here, but it's almost a black and white job. When you take the Scodix away, it's a dull job, nothing in it. But once you put the Scodix and you see the texture, it created a whole new experience. And it's a beautiful example to show the value. Same with the, I mentioned about the metallic. This is a great way to show the combination, the almost impossible combination of creating in one job, in a very simple way, gold, bronze, blue metallic, silver on a one single element. We have a customer in China who specializes in restaurant menus. This is a great example of a book that the Scodix, again, clear polymer or the enhancement on top is also on the cover, which is some sort of a fabric. And then inside, they enhanced a lot of those pages with different textures to the food. I don't like the food the way it looks, but you know, that's a matter of taste. But one of the nice things are the last pages, what they did with the branded bottles of the Heineken and the vodka here, which is really nice job of. Now, when you look at it, it's not complicated to make these. It's a fifth separation. Again, I'll do a little later if you want to go into details how they do those effects, how they create the file. It's not that difficult. It's done with again with the tools that you have today. Calendars. beautiful calendar done by one of our customers in the US with variable information. Very nice to see that. Another application is plastic cards. We have customers that are doing plastic cards, so you can do also thick materials and enhance some of these type of things. You can see those. Final Story, you can see this as well. Final Story, this is a movie that was made without us as a company knowing about it. And it's a movie about cities. Probably you never heard of it. There were 3 or 4 movies like that. Series of I Love You, New York I Love You, Paris I Love You, Tel Aviv I Love You, or Jerusalem I Love You, sorry. And then what they did, the production company created a kit, a direct mail kit, where they send it to the rich people in every city to sponsor a movie like this. Every city, the movie was sponsored by the rich people, so they sent a kit, and they made the whole kit, the CD cover, the book, everything to get the attention of those rich people to sponsor the movie. They made all that kit with Scodix enhancement on top of it. And the response rate for that direct mail campaign was phenomenal. We didn't know about it. We just got a thank you letter eventually from that production company, which they thought that the success, part of the success was the Scodix premium look that we gave to that kit. And it was very, very nice. It was very classic made. And they got 42% response rate, and 19% of the people called them for a meeting. Now, we don't take all the credit for this. It was a very well done kit from design perspective, but the Scodix gave it a very nice premium look. And that's the feedback that the production company got, was that this was one of the reasons that they thought was worth calling the production company for a meeting. So the value is the remembering thing, as I mentioned, that people remember that, people touch it. And you all know it, but there are numbers behind it. And it gives value to you, to your consumer, to whoever buys it and keeps this product. And you see what happens when I give you those samples. Every one of you touch it. You don't just look at it and pass it on. You touch it, you feel it. This is the main value. And this doesn't happen when you do a simple job of CMYK on a white paper. So you've got the competitive edge with this kind of technology that you can use. It gives a premium look to your product. And I assume that everyone wants their product to stand out and to look special. And it's all about creating an experience. It's part of creating experience in printing and in other industries. And, you know, it makes sense. So. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'm here, and I'll be happy to answer them later on.